brothers and sisters. Welcome back. We're so happy to have you joining us in the second part of the Hebrew Israelites Maturity. The Hebrew Israelites Maturity. Now, remember, we said that we are called to a vocation. It's a special calling on our lives. It's a special calling on our lives. And so, we want to make sure that we do the things that will bring glory and praise to YAHUAH. We don't want to do anything that's going to bring shame and disgrace to his name. Now, when we talk about a calling, a special calling, you remember, as we look at the walk and life of our great-grandfather, Abraham. You remember how YAHUAH called him from Ur of the Chaldees? Look at the call, special call. No, there are many, many people in the world, but YAHUAH chose to call Abraham. And Abraham, in obedience to him, started out on a journey. He didn't know where he was going, but faith. So he called him. He called him from a paganistic lifestyle. Excuse me. He called him from a paganistic lifestyle to a life of holiness, to a worthy calling. And you see, through him, we have Isaac. And then from Isaac, the 12 tribes of Israel. And you see, they went down into Egypt because of famine and stayed there and multiplied into millions. And YAHUAH called them out of Egypt into the promised land, into Canaan land. They're in Canaan land. And they're there for a season. But because of unbelief and rebellion spirit, they lost out on that. And they're scattered all over the globe now. But listen now, YAHUAH is calling them back to himself. From all over the globe, he's calling them back. So, Mikra, the vocation or the calling us to something bigger than us. So the Hebrew Israelites walk is a walk to a vocation, a strong feeling of suitability for a particular career or occupation, regarding the particular worthy, and requiring great dedication. So we have, and this dedication that is suitable for the profession by which YAHUAH calls us into. It is to this end that we are called. He called us to a profession. So not only that, there was an exhortation to a Hamashiach-centered walk, but it's also an exhortation to the basis of the Hamashiach. centered walk. The basis. What is the basis of this walk? As we see in verse 2. Long suffering. The Hebrew Israelite walk is also that of long suffering. It is a life of long suffering. We suffer long. Our history, our very history in these United States and in these Caribbean islands and different parts of Europe where we've been scattered. These are examples of places where we've been, and they talk about showing patience. We need patience in spite of trouble. Sometimes we act like we're running out of patience, especially those caused by other people, trouble caused by other people. So it's an exhortation of the basic or the basis for Hamashiach-centered life. You see, we should in the center of his will. So this is a Hamashiach-centered walk. We must walk worthy. We must pattern YAHUAH, Son, Yeshua. We must pattern his life and walk accordingly. He showed that in his dealing with the Torah. That is our guide. That is where, he sent the Ruach to guide and to lead and to direct us, to teach us. And how does he teach us? He teaches us through the mores that he called to lead us and to lead you. So long suffering, the Hebrew Israelite walk is that of long suffering. It is having or showing patience in spite of troubles, especially to those people around us who are hard to get along with. And so also there's a exhortation, to the ingredients of a Hamashiach-centered walk. In verses 3-6, the Apostle Paul exhorts us. And in peace is one of those, a peace, we must practice peace. We must practice peace, freedom from disturbance, quiet and tranquility, freedom from dispute and dissension. This is the life that he called us to. And we are among all of these things. We are among all of these problems. We are among all of these problems. And so, my brothers and my sisters, not only that, but in verse 4, we're calling on the word hope. The Hebrew Israelites' hope is a feeling of expectation. You remember a few sessions ago, I was talking about hope, and I said, it's not hope so that has doubt. This hope here is an expectation. We're expecting something. We have a desire for a certain thing to happen. The ground for believing that something good is going to happen to us and for us. Our hope is in Yeshua. Our hope is in Yeshua. And my brothers and my sisters, this hope is also a feeling of trust. It's a feeling of trust. We're hoping the feeling of trust. A feeling of trust. But I want us to notice also, we talk about the fact that it's an exaltation to a Hamashiach-centered walk. The spiritual understanding, okay? There's a spiritual understanding. But I want you to notice also, my brothers and my sisters, that we practice this spiritual understanding here. There's a practical part of it. Okay? There's a practical part of this walk. So it's defined in verses 7 through 16. The Hebrew Israelites have a measure of YAHUAH's grace. The Hebrew Israelite has a measure of YAHUAH's grace. The Hebrew Israelites have been given various gifts for ministering to the body of Yeshua. We have been given various gifts, and that is seen in verses 8 through 15. We have various gifts that he has given us. Okay? Various gifts to minister to the body of Yeshua. All the people who are named by his name. He tells us that we are to depart from iniquity, from wickedness, things that are of no essential value to our walk with him. We have to turn away from those things. Listen what he said here. In verse 8, that is why he said, when he went up on high, he led captivity captive. And not only so, but he gave gifts to men. So we have gifts. He endured us with gifts to minister to his people, to his body. But what does he went up mean? Except that he also first went down into the lower parts of the earth. He who went down is also the one who went up far above all the heavens to fill all things. And what happened? For he himself gave some as emissaries, some as prophets, some as evangelists, some as shepherds and teachers. For what? The perfecting of the set apart ones, those who are called, to work of service, to a building up of the body of the Messiah. So we're called to help to build up the body of Yeshua. My brothers and my sisters, this call is not a light call. It is a serious call. And it went on down. And in verse 14 it says, so that we should no longer be children tossed and borne about by every wind of teaching, by the trickery of men, in cleverness, unto the craftiness and leading astray. He said, but maintaining the truth in love, we grow up all respect unto him who is the head, the Messiah. Yeshua is the head of the body. And all respect, all honor is due to him. So then, this call that he has called us to, we are to walk worthy of this call. May YAHUAH bless and keep you and make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May YAHUAH lift up his countenance on you and give you peace. Walk with the King. Shalom.